say, so when people come in, they're like, "Oh, like, what do you guys got going on today for Fridays?" They're like, "Full price Friday, big deal." So
That's incredible.
I got a hat and a shirt now, so it's perfect.
All right, Nucc. Episode 3 of Off the Sheet. Let's welcome in all the listeners. I feel like we're starting to get a hang of this right now. Let's start it off with something that I have a question about. Are you ready for tomorrow night?
Is this the biggest day in hockey history? We are finally catching up to football with their little red zone. We get our frozen frenzy, and no, I'm definitely not ready.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not a Frozen Frenzy, NFL Red Zone, whatever it is. I'm not even
I'm,
talking about that. Like, is your bankroll ready? Like, are you like? Do you have picks ready to go yet? Like, what are we talking about here?
I can't think straight. I'm down $330 since the last time we recorded, but still up a good amount of money. So yes, I do have a bankroll ready to go. The units will be a little bit smaller, but I have no idea what to bet. The NHL, I feel like one day I got it down, one day I don't. Um, one day someone shoots the puck, one day they don't want to. So I have no idea what I'm betting. I don't know what to do. I think I might just watch it. I might just enjoy and not worry about money.
That might
But
be the most
that's a lie
ridiculous.
too.
Yeah, I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
that's
What are we
kind of a
talking about
lie.
here? So we'll get back into that, but let's check in. Let's see how everything's going. How was your week this past week? It's been about a week since we spoke on here. We actually saw each other in the middle of this randomly. We both made it out of Rochester, didn't get beaten up by the E-Bugs. So we're alive and well. The E-Bugs did not come attack us in Rochester. So happy we made it out alive.
Yeah,
How are you doing? How's everything been over the last week here?
good. Head was on a swivel all weekend, protecting net front. Made sure that they weren't coming after me. But obviously got to see you, got to see all the former boys. Watch a good hockey game. I didn't get to see Friday night. Think you guys swept the weekend, so congrats on that. But
Friday night was
um,
wild. Friday night was wild.
yeah, I'm sure it was. Saturday night got a little chippy, but a good high skilled NAL game as I expected. And for me personally, good weekend. We went 1-0-1, tie on Friday or Saturday, sorry. Win on Sunday against a very good defending, reigning national champs, whatever they are at the 14U level. So good win for our guys. Obviously taking steps in the right direction. So it's good to see it paying off. But yeah, pretty good weekend overall. What about you?
Yeah, man, I gotta be honest with you. Like I was able to catch that Saturday game. You know, I got you to drag me to the rink there a little bit early. And that might have been one of the most impressive hockey games and best hockey games I've watched all year. You had two of the top 15 U teams in the country go
Yeah.
at each other, like physicality, everything. It was no joke. There was a, you felt the pride in the building that day. It was for a Saturday. I believe you guys played 3 o'clock to 15s. Like that was legit. That was a legit hockey game. That was a lot of fun to watch. I got caught with some coffee maker issues in the middle of it, so I missed the second period. But first and third and a little bit of overtime there. That was a fun hockey game to watch. A ton of really good hockey players out there. You guys got a hell of a program. BK's got a hell of a program there. Obviously, like you mentioned, the 14s won it last year, so obviously moving up to the 15s this year. But it was that was one hell of a hockey game, man. And then obviously you said you guys came out with the 2 points there on Sunday to end up with 3 out of 4 for the weekend, and obviously that'll help the my hockey rankings a little bit there.
Yeah, I hope so. And one thing about coaching, like you said, pride in the building. I always wondered like why coaches yell and get all into the game when we're the ones playing. Now I'm on the other side. I'm like, I can't sit still. I'm screaming. I'm like 15U hockey. I'm going nuts.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm the same way. I mean, you see me during the NA games, it's crazy. But as for me, good little week. You know, ends up with 4 points out there on the weekend out in Rochester. They're a heck of a hockey team out there. They don't make things easy on you. And very impressed off the ice with Rochester as well. First year program in the league, um, doing a pretty incredible job. Game day ops,
Mhm.
operations in general. very first class, very pro. Not the pro type of rink, the youth hockey type of rink out there at the Rochester Ice Center, but they make the place pretty
Feel
legit for what they can work with, right? You saw it all Saturday
yeah,
night, and it was just as good of an atmosphere Friday night. Pretty impressive for a first year program to come in and kind of do the things that they do out there. So tip of the cap to their operations department out there. They're doing a hell of a job. And unfortunately, we're only out there once this year, and we don't get to experience that again. But a lot of fun out there, and I think our guys really rose to the challenge this past week. And then you came home yesterday and just really enjoyed some football. Nice long day. And I got to tell you, I'm sick and tired of Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers not being prepared to play football games. I've watched them 6 times out of the first 7 weeks now, and I think I could do a better job in the first half than Matt LaFleur and the rest of the coaching staff because it's another game. Like, how do you lose to the Denver Broncos? Like, is that even a real football team anymore?
I can't comment based on the fan base that I'm a part of being
What are you
prepared. And
talking about, dude? The Giants are back. They beat the Commanders yesterday.
speaking on behalf of being prepared for a football game, by any chance did you see Jonathan Allen of the Washington Commanders post game interview?
Oh yeah, lots of
Oh, explicit.
expletives,
E-
expl-
Expletives.
expletives thrown around. Yeah,
Is that the right word?
yeah,
No,
sounds
can't
right.
be.
No,
Can't
no,
be.
it was. It just I think it took us a second just to figure out how to say it, but he was
I'm gonna go
I respect
explicit
it.
content instead of the other route that you just went, so I don't choke on my own words. But that was insane.
That was
Has he been
awesome.
there?
I think you need that every now and then in life. Like I think you need that.
Has he been there his whole career?
I got to be honest with you. I mean, he must have been
He said this has
because
been going on for
7 years.
6 or 7 years. He was a 2017 draft pick, so mathematically, yeah, I think so.
2 plus 2 equals 4, right? So
Yeah,
that
it was a
sucks,
wild
man. I feel
video.
bad for that guy.
For
Feel
anyone
bad
who
for that guy.
didn't watch
But
that,
they got legit ownership there now. Like they got the Devils and Sixers guys, Harrison Blitzer down there now. They got legit ownership down in Washington.
yeah, for anyone who didn't watch that interview, highly recommend um taking a peek on that
And what
because
was it? It was a 30-second clip,
yeah,
right? Like you're
so
not gonna have to waste a
entertaining.
lot of your time. Yeah,
No.
it was unbelievable. But yeah, so I mean, made my way back. Watched a lot of the football yesterday. Had a nice little day, and then from about 4:25 till about 7:25, I hated life and really couldn't stand watching the Green Bay Packers again. But I'm gonna watch next week, 1 o'clock against the Minnesota Vikings, because rivalry game and all that. But it's just
Rivalry
I
game for
can't.
you too. Are you gonna watch it with your best friend?
Yes, nah, I don't know. I don't know. We don't really hang out too much anymore on Sundays.
Yeah, it's tough.
Kind of what happens. Everybody gets girlfriends. No more Sunday fun days. You know what I do want to do though? Like no free ads on the pod here right now, but there's a new place down here called Baseline Social.
Baseline?
Baseline Social just opened up at the old Fort Monmouth over there. Um, Golf simulators, big TVs. One of the cooks over here at the rink went over yesterday. He said, "Get there at noon or don't go."
Wow. That's
Yeah,
what you love to hear on Sundays.
right.
Yeah, that's like sign me, put my name on the list.
Yeah, like put me down noon next Sunday. I'll see you there
11:30.
because opening.
11:30.
What time? Dude, I heard they're open like kind of sneaky early from what I read. Like brunch,
That's a that's a
everything.
good place. They get it then.
Yeah, it just opened up in September, so a place I got to check out here coming up on a Sunday. But it's been, I've heard unbelievable things, absolutely incredible things about it. So I'm pretty excited about that once I get over there.
Yeah, just got a
Um,
notification on my phone. Your favorite ballpark and fan base is getting a game 7. Diamondbacks just forced it.
they got killed, right? 5-1, it looked like
So
last
you
time I
get to
looked.
experience a game 7 in your all-time favorite ballpark, whatever you
Uh,
call it.
I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch, an all-time
Hey,
favorite ballpark. I mean, I just really love what happens there during playoff time. So
yeah. Well, you get to
I'm
see it.
sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm
I
sorry. I
just
love big crowds and a lot of people having a good time. Like I apologize.
I just hate it.
Let's get into some hockey talk here. I think what I want to start with, little off the cuff hockey talk, a little bit, little not normal. I want to talk handshake lines.
Thank
We
God.
saw we saw something happen this past weekend with you guys at the youth hockey level, and you talk about handshakes all the time, and you talk about playoff handshakes, and I've gone through it in playoffs here at the NA level. Let me ask you a question. Why can't they stay straight? Like why do you end up at the bench? Like as the coach on the line, like you end up at the bench. Like what are we doing? Why can't people have discipline? Why can't we stay in a straight line?
Before last year when I coached and this year, before when I played, I never really realized it. Now when I'm coaching and I'm in the back of the line, it, I can't understand it. And we talked about it together, obviously, with a couple other people, and we came to the conclusion that the person behind always wants to look to the right because you shake hands with the right hand, always wants to look to the right and makes the line go diagonal. So I focused on Sunday. I tried to see if that was the case, and I stood to the left. It didn't help.
You tried to stay
I
pat
tried
and
to I
have
tried to
some
be the
discipline.
I tried to be the disciplined guy and change the way that the handshake line went, and
I
it
don't
didn't
think you could
help.
be the disciplined guy in the back though. You can't. Like you got to be either second to like fifth in line to keep the discipline.
And it's one of those things like you watch handshakes and you like experience them yourself and you never realize that they're diagonal until you talk about it. And then you go look up like just look up handshake line on Google. There's straight handshake lines, so it drives me nuts that it's possible. And then there's ones that go from like it's almost like we're doing a warm up drill for
I don't
practice.
think it's possible though, to be honest.
It
Like
is. I'm looking at it right here.
there's no shot it's possible. Every time
There,
I'm in one, it goes to the right.
I agree. Every time we're in one, but I think at the next level, I mean, one day hopefully we get to coach in the NHL, maybe. But they're straight sometimes.
I don't know, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I get it though, and it's honestly kind of frustrating
It drives
because
me
we
crazy.
oh my god, right? Nuts.
Because then you don't want to go right, you have to go right.
Yeah, you get forced by the idiocy of the people in front of you, right
Dude,
word? No.
you're on a roll
I'm
right
having a
now with
tough
words.
time. I'm having a
You
tough time with words
next
today.
episode 4, you need a dictionary next to you.
Words are
Yikes.
not my forte on this Monday night here. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? I've never been big with words anyway, but I had to get that out there about the handshake lines because we talked about it the other day,
Yeah.
and it's one of the more like you start to get into hockey for a long time, right? And we've both been in hockey now for 20 plus years playing and now coaching. The stuff that becomes like pet peeves
So
of
little,
yours, it's so little and so stupid, but
but it
that
drives
also
you
might,
nuts.
yeah, but like, could it mean like, is it time to just kind of like move on? Like, should we go do other things and like not be involved in hockey anymore if handshake lines are bothering us?
No, I'm just getting started. I got a long road ahead.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think I'm on board with that.
Yeah, you
Moving
more
on
than me.
here. Yeah,
You're
I mean,
you're in one. You need a ladder to get out.
yeah, at this point, I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah.
But this is where we're at, and yeah, whatever. It's October, so we'll see what happens here. But handshake lines aside, if anybody has any listeners out there have any like suggestions about handshake lines, by the way, like
DM us.
don't be afraid to hit up the DMs, the comments. Like we need some real structure in our lives, especially Nucc at the youth level, right? Like you handshake after every game, like you need it.
Yeah.
You need.
Speaking about DMs too, I'm gonna go off a little tangent here quickly. I'm taking Chell NHL 24 one-on-one requests. So hit up the Instagram DMs. Maybe we'll give you a little prize for some merch we might create down the road. Probably not, but you'll be on the list of giveaways if there ever is any. If you beat me, so you're not gonna get at it anyway. But that's your that's your little prize. But I'll take any requests. We'll set up a time, maybe best out of 3. But I'll shout you out on the pod if you beat me. So there's going to be no shout outs coming here in the near future anyway. I'm
Yeah,
staying
I think
undefeated with the listeners.
people may underestimate how good you are at.
Shh, 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 shh,
So,
shh, shh, shh.
oops. Ooh,
Don't.
bleep that, bleep that, bleep that, bleep that out, bleep that out.
Might have to stream the
Uh,
content too. That would be even better.
I don't know, little Twitch channel, little Twitch, little. I'm in. I'll get on. I'll commentate the whole thing. We'll get Doc Emmerich on the pod and really go nuts with the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Moving on here. Let's hit it. Let's hit some recaps from the weekend. Fargo Force, man, 8-0, unbelievable goaltending. I'm just gonna say it. We're gonna move on. They're a really good hockey
No.
team. It's gonna be a lot of fun to keep watching them because I want to talk about somebody else in the league, and I want to get into it a little bit.
I'm going
So
to
we're
talk
gonna.
about someone else in the league.
Okay, do you want to go first? Mine's more from like a team perspective. Do you want to
Okay,
go
yeah, mine's
individual after?
individual. We're just gonna little segment I'm gonna start doing is picking someone and giving them a little shout out or a little keep an eye out, maybe a watch list, little off the sheet watch list. But some people in the world get used to mustard on their hot dogs. Some get used to mustard on their hamburgers. The USHL is getting used to mustard on their score sheets. John Mustard of the Waterloo Blackhawks has a half a goal a game, 4 and 8. But I have to give him a shout out. Don't know him personally, have to admit that. But Bergen Catholic alumni, brotherhood there, Avs family. And then I watched him in Pittsburgh. I was like, okay, pretty impressive. And I was like, let's see what he can do first couple games, first couple weekends. I think he's on PP1, getting a lot more time now. Puck's going in the net, and I think he is tied with the rookie lead for goals in the USHL. And let's just say this: they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming.
Yeah, man. You hit it right on the head. The kid's a good hockey player. He's got 4 goals right now, like you said, tied for the league lead by rookies with Nolan Roed and Michael Barron. He's a good hockey player, man. He's got a nice little release there. He's a little lanky though. Like he's got to be a little bit thicker, in my opinion.
Okay.
But he's a little lanky. He's a fun player to watch, and I kind of respect that you stuck with a local boy there for your first one with the little Bergen Catholic connect right there. I kind of respect
Yeah, had to do it.
that. Yeah, I mean that was kind of. I guess I probably should have known that right away, but I think the kid's a good hockey player. He's Waterloo's off to a okay start, right? They're not the Fargos or the Madisons of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're sitting at 4-4. I guess I'd like to really dive into it. When he scores, do they win hockey games? But he's a good hockey player. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. 06 in the league right now. Got a ton of ability going into the future here
Yeah.
of what is up next for him. I'm gonna get a little bit. So let's keep that on the tabs there. We should get like a little checkboard of like Nuc's players to watch
Yeah.
because when one of them really stinks, I want to circle back on it and really blow the spot up because I
Okay.
feel like everybody needs to be humbled in life a little bit, and I
All
think
right.
you might deserve that every now and then. So
Or you could circle back,
Hags, if on the back end we could get a little like checkboard, a little chalkboard in the back, and just start throwing some names up.
or you
And
can circle back on the people that are performing with the super nooch bump, and lighting the lamp. So that's a new hashtag for the pod right here. Super nooch bump.
hashtag Super Nooch,
Super nooch
prom,
bump.
promo code Super Nooch at FanDuel Sportsbook.
He scores next game, it's because of me. Just saying.
Kind of respect that. What I want to talk about though is I want to talk about the Omaha Lancers. Is it possible to go a full season without winning a hockey game in the USHL?
If you're really bad, anything's possible. No,
Because the Omaha Lancers currently sit at
let's.
0-7-1 and finally got their first point in the league this past weekend with an overtime loss. Now, I got a question for you too, just speaking about that on more of like a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coaching an 0-7 hockey team and
In that league.
you get a point on a Saturday night, do you celebrate the point or no? because it's pretty crazy what's going on out there with them right now.
Do you celebrate the point? No, you don't celebrate it. Are you happy with it? Yes. Does it give you confidence that there's more? Potentially, but I think you got to be realistic with yourself and evaluate the game. Like, did goalie stand on his head and we stole a point? Did we earn the point? Should we have had another point? So that's where, as a coach, I would be like, okay, I would celebrate if we played a great game and we should have got 2 points, but it was a tough bounce. We got one, and then the opposite, I would be like, okay, we got way more work to do. We got lucky. We snagged one.
Yeah, I mean they're an interesting hockey team right there. I mean, you talked about the Fargo Force having their goal differential and now only giving up 11 goals in 8 games. The Omaha Lancers have given up 44 goals in 8 games
Yeah,
and have
that's
only
the
scored
problem.
19.
That's the problem is the amount they're giving up, not the amount they're scoring. And there's only one team in the league that's given up more than them. We're not going to say who that is, but
Well, that's your hockey team. That's your favorite hockey team in the USHL.
mine, right? Yeah, whatever.
And you
Way
know what the
before.
problem is? You know what the problem is in Omaha too? 251 penalty minutes.
I was just gonna say that. That's an absurd amount of penalty minutes.
In 8 games. Like, I've
I mean,
struggled with words and everything tonight, so I'm gonna pull the calculator out real quick just to see what it is. But 251 divided by 8, like, you can't be taking 31 penalty minutes a game. That's just not a recipe for success, especially in an offensive hockey league.
or I'll be devil's advocate here. Is it a good thing you're taking 31 a game because you're 0-7-1? You're showing that you care. How many? We need to go. We need to go look at how many penalties are in the last 10 minutes of the game.
And
You
fights
you
and
you're
sticking
0
up for
5.
each other.
You're 0 5. You're like, that's it. Bench is clear. That's 50 right there. Okay. Yeah, Shop. So the NCDC. Got the
I'm
standings
gonna
pulled
say
up
it
here.
before you get into it. I'm gonna say it before you get into it, and then you could
Okay.
go and roll. I'm really impressed with what South Shore's doing right now. Very impressed. A team that went to the final last year, lost some guys, but brought back some very important pieces. Brought back very good goaltending, and the fact that they're 9-2 right now, I don't know exactly what's going on up there, but they're not in first place. But what they're doing is very impressive. I'm sorry I had to cut you off there
Oh,
for a
it's
second.
okay.
I needed to get that in.
Yeah, you just had to get in another goalie stat. Whatever. So yeah, I think it's pretty ironic that the NCDC, all their divisions, Atlantic, Mountain, New England, kind of under the same structure right now. We got PAL or PAL, as people would say, at 9-1 with one OT loss. Wilkes-Barre about 6-5. Rockets, Hitmen, Connecticut Junior Rangers, and Mercer Chiefs all around that 500. Connecticut Junior Rangers, Mercer a little bit under. Go out to the Mountain, which is obviously a
Just
lot of the.
Yep. Just stopping you there for a second. I'm sorry. I'm just going to chime in when I see some things
It's
there.
okay.
I know you're rolling and everything, but I got my points here. Mercer taking a little bit of a step back this year, was a very good hockey team last year. Kind of pushed some guys. And what's really impressive, what Toby's doing up there in New Jersey, about hour north of where we're at, is off to a really bad start. The Hitmen were doing a really good job. Got them off the schneid here pretty early and got them back to 5-7. So doing a hell of a job there up in Wayne, New Jersey.
Yes, sir. Right in my backyard. So
Love Jersey land up there.
yeah. And then the Mountain, like I said, and following suit with the Atlantic, we got Ogden leading the pack at 7-1-1. A little bit of a fall off to Utah at 6-3. Provo Predators just haven't played a lot of games, 5-2. And then we got the 500 teams in Pueblo Bulls and Idaho Falls Spud Kings. What a name. I would love to see their jerseys if we could pull that up. That'd be awesome.
Dude, do you
And
know about them though? Like they play in like a big barn and fill it.
really,
Fill it. Like thousands of fans a night.
Idaho Falls Spud Kings. I
Fill
gotta
the
do.
barn, dude.
I gotta be better on my end because that name just shouts and screams. Look me up. the logo, the team name, everything about it just screams look me up. But moving on, we'll get a little picture for our viewers and listeners. Maybe can edit that in, see how good Hags is at
They
his job.
fill the place out
Um,
there, man. It's impressive what they do.
yeah, I'm gonna need to check that out. And then the pulling up the rear here, the Rocks Springs Grizzlies 1-7-1. Out to New England. I still can't get my head off the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. I keep like my eyes go down the sheet and then they go right back up to the Spud Kings. I don't know what they're doing to me. But Islanders Hockey Club, how are you? 10-0-2. Like you mentioned, South Shore 9-2, and then we go down to the 500 teams. We got the Junior Bruins, the GB Bruins, as you would like to call them, and your
Say it all the
showcase.
time.
Sorry,
Say it all the
had to
time.
chirp you there. Utica Junior Comets, Twin City Thunder 3-6, Northern Cyclones leading the bottom of the pack at 1-8-1. So the Northern Cyclones, a little bit of a similarity to the USHL Omaha Lancers. 18 goals for, 41 against. Not a recipe for success. But there's your Super Nooch recap of the NCDC standings. Haven't really got into much of them, so that's it. And let's take a little look at the scoring leaders. I don't really know anyone in the league, so I'm gonna spit some. Actually, this name looks a little familiar. But we got 12 games played, 23 points for Ty Broad, and then I'm gonna skip the next guy because I'm not gonna embarrass myself. And some good leaders up there. Shaps, anyone catching your eye at the on the scoring leaders?
Yeah, I mean, what the IHG have done up there, they've taken some guys that, whatever anybody wants to look at and the way people want to perceive the leagues and stuff like that, right? Like the Max Lundgren kid came over here from Sweden, I believe it was, and had a shot in the North American Hockey League, and now has found himself a home at the IHC up there. He's done a great job for them. He's got 9 goals, 9 assists. Real good, real solid 200-foot player. Going to find himself a nice home wherever he goes next. Heikki Virtanen for PAL, kid that I know fairly well through my time in hockey. Long, lanky forward who can shoot it, and again another kid who was in the North American League and gave his shot there, and then has made his way to the NCDC and really found a home out in PAL. But like I said, man, the South Shore team, it's impressive what they do. There's a question that I have always had with South Shore, and I'm still trying to figure out who and what it may be. What is the connection with the Japan players with the South Shore Kings? And I mean it in a good way. The guys that they bring over are like unbelievable hockey players. I mean, Japan's not a hockey hotbed, right? It's just not. Let's just call it for what it is. Like it's not, but they've had players there, especially in the past. I believe his last name's Hinazara, who is now at Sacred Heart, playing pretty regularly at Sacred Heart now. He's a kid from Japan who came over and played South Shore, had a ton of success in the NCDC, and now even this year, they got another couple kids on the team from Japan. And I know one of the guys that I always like on their team is a defenseman, Sal Serrato, really good defenseman, can move his feet really well. But I'm very intrigued by this Japanese connection out in South Shore. And I mean that in like the nicest way possible. Like whoever's got that niche of a player
Doing a great job.
is absolutely crushing it. Cause like those guys come over here and perform. So I don't know if you have the answers. I need to ask
I,
somebody because I
I
kind
d-
of want to know, and I kind of want to get it.
yeah,
Like if there's good hockey players there, I kind of want to get into that market.
yeah. Shoot me and hit me up on my line because I'm in for that.
Hit me up
But
in the DMs right now.
I don't know who it is. But yeah, some good names there. Cam from the Rockets Hockey Club is obviously off to a pretty good start. He's taken his goal total from last year and almost got it in half his games played. So that's really impressive on his end.
He's a good hockey
Um,
player.
yeah,
Good hockey
and
player.
then Like I mentioned with Ty Broad already, leading the league in scoring. So some good names like you mentioned up there already. But I don't have the answer from you. I apologize for you. Sorry, I apologize. But
It's all right.
hopefully one day I do.
If anybody out there has the answer and knows who has that connection, they're doing a great job. It's pretty impressive the amount of guys that South Shore's brought in from that region of the world and have had success. And like I mentioned, the Hinzara kid at Sacred Heart came through South Shore and is having some success at Sacred Heart right now. So it's impressive. Whoever's doing that, my hat's off to you, brother, because you're doing a heck of a job up there. Over to some college hockey, I think. I think we kind of need to just talk about it. I know we touched on BU before, and I kind of wanted to get back to it. Did
Mhm.
you get a chance to see the Minnesota North Dakota series this past weekend?
I didn't get to watch it, and
Now, I
I'm
have a
not.
question for you. I have a question because I don't think we realize it that much being from the East Coast. It sounds like that's like Yankees Red Sox out there.
Dude, the things you're telling me right now are making me so intrigued to just go on YouTube for the rest of the night and watch the Spud Kings come out to 3,600 people with a barn rockin' and just watch 10 years in a row of this hockey rivalry on the West Coast or wherever they're playing, most of them.
I'm telling you, dude, did you see some of the comments from like the Logan Coolies of the world that's now playing for the Arizona Coyotes that had some comments about the rivalry up in Minnesota this
I
past weekend?
didn't.
Like,
Is it on Twitter?
of course it's on Twitter. You can find everything on Twitter.
You have a
It's
burner.
I do not have a burner. We're not getting into this right now.
Sorry, I had to.
That's we're not getting into that right now. That's
Devils
a
fan
conversation for another time.
0699. No, but
That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
no. So you're saying the alumni gets, even after they turn the page and go do their thing, they're still heated in the
Dude,
rivalry?
I saw it this past weekend and I don't get I there's some things you just don't understand, right? Because we're from the East Coast, you don't see it all. But I'm telling
Yeah,
you, from what it sounds like and what I've read, it's Yankees, Red Sox. It's like heated, like hate each other type of stuff out there, Nodak and Minnesota.
really.
And I kind of need that in my life. I think I need more of that. Like that's BC, BU. Also, speaking about BC, can we talk about the crowds they've been putting out at BC for the first time in a little while out there?
Do you blame them?
I mean, when you got a Perot, Smith, and Leonard second line, I don't think I would blame him either.
Exactly. Fill the rink. Get on your feet. I love it. I'm going to
They
Boston.
blacked out. They blacked out the student section the other night
Oh
against
yeah, they
Denver.
did. Yeah, they did. You're damn right they did. I'm going to Boston. Unfortunately, I won't be there in time to go to the game. Who do they have this weekend? It's a big boy game. Boston College. It's a Friday
They have
night.
Michigan State coming in, I believe.
I was supposed to go to one of them, but I'm not going to be there in time, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if anyone plays Saturday night who they play, but I could potentially.
Yeah, BC has Michigan State coming into town.
They play Saturday.
Yeah, it's a 2 games at BC.
Yeah, I could get boots on the ground for that one. I think.
You want to get boots on the ground for BC? No, they
Oh,
don't.
I'm not. I gotta wait till our schedule comes out, but I think I might want to get boots on the ground for a game.
Saturday
Either
night in New England.
Either a Bruins game, a BC, or a BU. And then that's the tier one that I want to see, and then there's the tier two that I would see. It's probably
Yeah, you don't
any
have any of that, so.
great.
Oh, you know why? Because BC Michigan State's a Thursday Friday series.
Yeah, that's what I thought, or else we would have went Saturday. Yeah, so I think some of the boys
You know what you
are
could
going.
do though? You got a good game up there at Matthews Arena, Northeastern and Merrimack on Saturday night.
Yeah, I could go to that.
You ever been to Matthews Arena?
Is that Northeastern?
It is, yes.
Should I throw out a weird brag or no?
I mean, whatever you're gonna say right now. Oh,
I mean,
would you play there with like Bergen Catholic or somebody like?
no, I went on an official visit.
What?
I went on a visit to
What?
Northeastern.
Did you?
Yep.
I'm learning more and more about you every day, my man. Learning more and more about you.
Fun fact, shout out my boy Bob Hampton. I tell people I was on Bob Hampton's official visit. Me and Bob did it together when we played 18U
Oh,
Avs.
so it was Bobby's visit?
That's what I
Because
tell
he
people.
played
So
there. Because
that's what
he
I
played there.
are you done yet? That's what I tell people so I don't have to brag. And another fun fact is my roommate was also on the visit, but he was already committed to college. So it was a three person visit. And yeah, Bob committed and I didn't get an offer.
It's all right, man. We've all been there. Happens. Happens to the best of us.
I had
Beautiful
so
arena, though. Don't be afraid to get boots on the ground for a little Northeastern
oh,
Merrimack Hockey
yeah,
East matchup.
I got to see the inside and out locker room, beautiful ring, and then all the D1 offers after that flowed in. So it was a perfect, first offer for me, and yeah, it went really
So
well.
you said you didn't get an offer. What are we talking about?
Trying to make myself feel good here, okay?
Oh, it's
I have
too
a good
good.
story for you too. So obviously, I'm coaching, and
I do know that, yes.
at a tournament, and you know how the college coaches come after the game. They want to talk to some players. So one coach comes to the locker room, wants to speak with one of our players, introduces himself to me, says his name. I shake his hand. I look him dead in the eyes, and I say, I know who you are, coach. You recruited me. He goes, oh, really? What's your name? I told him my name, and he just shook his head. Yeah. I still have the voicemail saved on my phone of this guy telling me that he was going to commit someone else instead of me, and I use it as motivation to this day. Got to meet him in person.
I guess we'll save that name for after the pod. You don't want to put anybody on blast right now.
Yeah, and I'll play the voicemail for you too.
Wow.
Good stuff. So
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I kind of like that hurts me a little bit. Like that, I feel for you, man. It hurts
yeah,
to
and
hear.
they say everything happens for a reason, and in my case, it just didn't. Just didn't happen for a reason.
That's
It
messed up
got
too, man. NAHL East Division Defenseman of the Year. Like, come on,
oh
you
come
deserve
on,
better than that.
where give me the crowd, give me the applause in the background. Come on, pump my tires right now. Is this a new segment?
Are we pumping Super Nooch right now? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. If you pump me
Captain in the
anymore
North
with
American Hockey League? Like, come on, dude.
you pump me anymore with the way I look lately, I'm gonna explode.
Come on, man. That's a fat joke towards yourself. You don't need to do that. You don't need to.
Sorry. I'm on a new pact with one of my friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to hit the gym every day, eat healthier.
When did
So
this
we're
pack start?
gonna 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you been to the gym yet?
It's so close,
So,
but so far, and it's so
what
easy to
time you
get
going to the
to.
gym tomorrow? The pack started. What time you going tomorrow?
I usually go when I go the 4 times I've been there in the past 4 months. Usually like 7:30. So if you get a Snapchat from me at 7:30,
There's no way.
you know where I am. I'm gonna start screenshotting what the gym looks like and taking a picture in my bed like a black screen and just photoshopping the gym into it so people think that I'm there in the morning even though I'm still laying in bed. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yes. Come on, man. But back to the Super Nooch pump of the tires, right? Like NA East Defenseman of the Year.
You're still
NA.
going.
I just, you're my guy, dude. You're my guy. Come on. I got it like little NA All Division East rookie team, all rookie second team in the league, all East Division team. Like, what did Northeastern miss, dude? What did they miss?
What did they miss? What did the 60 others miss?
Yeah, that's probably more of the fair question. I love you. Northeastern probably
You want
wasn't
the
it,
most
but
loaded question ever?
let's go. What do you got?
Whose fault is it?
That was loaded. That was loaded. That was loaded.
You can't answer?
Whose fault was it that you didn't play Division I hockey?
Yeah, was it mine? Because everything you just said, it doesn't sound like it. I'm crying. I
That
gotta
couldn't have
take a
worked out
break.
better.
I gotta
That
take a
couldn't have
break.
worked out better. That couldn't have worked out better.
So good.
Well, Nucc, that's one way to end it right there. I think episode 3 was a super success. I think this has been a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to episode 4. And I think let's try to take this thing a little bit. Let's try to take this thing to the moon. Let's have some fun here. Episode 3, we're out.